Good
PME
afternoon,
class.
ma'am.
Good afternoon. So we will start our PME class. Just tell me whether we have completed the chapter. We have started the chapter 6, price ceiling, price floor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, price ceiling we have discussed.
Yes, ma'am.
And price floor? Not yet?
No, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Then we will start with price floor. Let me share the screen so that we can discuss. Okay. This is the price ceiling in the market. Rent control we have discussed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then come to price floor. When we discuss about price floor, that means as the price ceiling is the legal maximum price at which a good can be sold. Similarly, price floor is the legal minimum price at which a good can be sold. Write down the points about price floor. Price floor is the legal minimum price at which a good can be sold. A good can be sold, and legal minimum price means price above the floor price can be accepted. But when we are talking about price floor, second point, write down, price floor imposed by the government for the benefit of the producers. For the benefit of the producers means when government imposes a price floor, definitely he thinks about the seller or the producers. Okay, price floor is imposed, so any price above is good, is definitely the seller will be happy, but not the buyers, because buyers don't want to pay higher price for the product. So what happened in case of the buyers, they will definitely want lesser price. But when it is price floor that is legalized or fixed by the government, then that should be the minimum, price that the buyers will pay and sellers will receive. Buyer can pay higher price, but they don't want to pay higher price, so at least the minimum price they will accept. So when we are talking about a price floor, the price which is, it is for the benefit of the seller. Basically, price floor is imposed for the benefit of the seller or the producer. Now, next point you can write a price above the floor price is legal. A price above the floor price is legal, and below the floor price is not legal or illegal. A price above the floor price is legal, and below the floor price it is illegal. Then a price floor is binding. A price floor is binding when it is above the equilibrium price. A price floor is binding when it is above the equilibrium price. A price floor is non-binding when it is below equilibrium price. A price floor is non-binding when it is below equilibrium price, just the reverse of price ceiling. In case of price ceiling, what happened? When it is below the equilibrium price, that is binding. When it is above equilibrium price, this is not binding. If you remember for whom it is imposed, then there will be no confusion. Buyers never want to pay more. So a price which is below equilibrium price, if left on its own, if the market will be left on its own, what will happen? The buyers will pay the equilibrium price and the seller will receive the equilibrium price. At the equilibrium, the quantity demand is equal to quantity supply. At equilibrium, optimum efficient allocation of resources is being made. That is the most efficient position. Equilibrium price is the most efficient price. Equilibrium quantity is the most efficient quantity. But then the question is, why government then interferes in the market? Government sometimes interferes in the market. Normally, it should interfere in the market in case of market failure. But sometimes government policies are made for the welfare of the people, means welfare of a section of the people or a section of the group. Okay, like when it is talking about the seller, when the government thinks that the seller are not getting the remunerative price, or when they think that the price of the sellers that they are receiving in the market, which is decided by the market demand and supply, aggregate demand and aggregate supply, is not giving proper justice to the sellers or producers, then it may interfere in the market just to increase the minimum support price, or we can say increase the price floor so that producers are benefited. But what happened, what is its after effects? That is what we want to know here. So what happened, a price floor has two market outcomes. Okay, what are the outcomes of the price floor? It will affect the market outcomes definitely. How? When the government imposes a price floor will be binding and effective if it sets above the equilibrium price, but a binding price floor will create a surplus in the market. It will lead to a surplus in the market. When the government is imposing for the benefit of the people, and it is imposing a price floor, which will effect or which will help the people to secure more income for their household or for more income, then what will happen in the market? There will be less demand for the good and more supply of the good. There will be surplus of goods and services in the market. Okay, the market situation, market effect is that. When we are talking about market effect, then it is definitely not very alluring, or we can say it is happening. Suppose this is your quantity demand, this is your quantity supply, quantity demand of the good. A price floor which is not binding. Tell me what will be these points? This is your 130 minus 10p. So this point is 13. Quantity supply is equal to minus 30 plus 10p. This point is how much? Where supply curve starts, what will be the value? Anybody? Quantity supply equation starts this point.
3.
Yes, quantity supply is equal to minus 30 plus 10p. So putting QS as 0, 10p is equal to 30, P is equal to 3. So when we calculate this, is your equilibrium price and quantity is 8 by equating these two. So your equilibrium price is 8 and the equilibrium quantity is your 15. So in this situation, equilibrium price and quantity you can get, but if the price floor which is above the equilibrium price, only then it is binding. Suppose this is the ice cream, but when the government is fixing the price floor below the equilibrium price, then it is not binding. Then it is not binding because the seller, it is for the benefit of the seller. Now seller will receive less price if a price floor is below the equilibrium price. If the government is not at all interfering, normally the price will be 8 rupees. That is the equilibrium price that the buyers will pay and that the seller will receive per cup or per unit. But if government fix a price floor which is at 6 rupees, how a seller will be benefited or how a seller will accept this price? They will not accept this price because normally they are getting higher price. So, and price floor is for the benefit or for the purpose of giving higher income to the seller or producer. So definitely it is not going to benefit the seller. So what will happen? It is not binding when it is below equilibrium point. It is not binding. But when an equilibrium, when a price price floor, which is this is wrong. This is not ceiling but floor. This is a case of floor. This is a simple mistake that it is price floor. If a price floor above the equilibrium point, it is imposed, then it is accepted. Then it is binding. Then it is binding by accepted by both the buyers as well as the sellers. The sellers are happy to receive higher price than the equilibrium price. The buyers are not happy, but they have to pay when government has legalized this. So that is a legal minimum price at which a good can be sold. The buyer will even be happy if the price is 11, 12 or 13. So that is your demand curve shows that is maximum of 13. Up to 13 where it is starting. But what will happen? The seller will definitely be happy to get any price which is above this floor price. But buyer will never give. Why they will pay higher price? When government has fixed the price, that will become the market price. Because that price, the seller, the buyer don't want to give higher price, but they have to give when government has legalized. So they will only go for the minimum, not the legal maximum, but the legal minimum price that is fixed by the government. So what will happen? A price floor, what is the outcomes? Write down, draw this diagram for price floor in your copy. A freehand diagram. If quantity demand and quantity supply, calculate for 10. Calculate for 10. If this is the quantity demand and quantity supply equation, if price is 10 and if suppose 10 rupees is not given to you, can you reach there? Quantity demand, put this demand at 30, then also you can get the price, sorry. Yes. Yes. When the government imposes a price floor, what will be its effect? If this is the equilibrium price and quantity and your floor price is 10 rupees, how much is quantity demand?
30.
Yes, quantity demand is And how much is quantity supply? This is not binding. This is the diagram for binding price floor. When the price floor is above the equilibrium price, then it is binding. But a binding price floor where it is touching the demand curve, that much is quantity demanded. So quantity demand is 30. Quantity supply at rupees 10. At rupees 10, quantity supply is 70. That's where it is touching the demand curve, where it is touching the supply curve. Put a line on the x-axis. That much is the quantity demand and quantity supply. Okay, so quantity supply is 70. So more QS is greater than QD, therefore surplus. QS is greater than QD, then it is surplus. QD is greater than QS, then it is shortage. So when QS is greater than QD, so there will be surplus in the market, surplus of 40 rupees or 40 units, 40 units surplus in the market. Okay, so if there is a surplus in the market, price floor will, what is the market outcomes? The price floor will prevent the price to fall. What happens in normal situation? Tell me, if market price is higher, more or greater than the equilibrium price, what will happen to price?
Price will fall till equilibrium price.
Yeah, price will fall to equilibrium. But here in this case, price cannot fall because government has legalized it, government has fixed it. So even if it is higher than the equilibrium price, price cannot fall to equilibrium. Equilibrium price and quantity cannot be reached because government has legalized this price. So price floor is expected to be at higher only. Price floor will be fixed at a higher level than the equilibrium amount, than the equilibrium price. So what happened when the market price will now become the floor price? Means market price will be the floor price now. Or floor price becomes the market price now because that is the price which is accepted. Actually, it can be sold even at higher price, even higher than 10 rupees. But who will pay that? No buyer is interested to pay higher price. So maximum they will pay the 10 rupees. That is the floor price imposed by the government. So this is the situation when floor price become the market price. And what happened? Market price and floor price become equal, but there will be a surplus in the market. And how much surplus that we have to calculate? Like in this situation, 40 units are the surplus in the market. And there will be a non-price rationing, which is an alternative mechanism for rationing the good. And who will change? The buyers has more choice. The buyers can choose the sellers or the producers from whom they can get the product, and there can be a non-price rationing, and there can be discrimination, non-price discrimination also. But there cannot be price discrimination. Price cannot change. Price cannot be increased or decreased. Where it is fixed by the government, that much will be the price for demand as well as for supply. So one example is minimum wage or agricultural support price, minimum support price. You see, what is a minimum support price? We will see case study of minimum support price. An important example for price floor is minimum support price. MSP is always there. Okay, the problem is they want to legalize the MSP or fix the MSP with some criteria. So That should be, it is actually not legalized, it is a welfare activity by the government. Government is giving it for the last 50 years maybe. So that is being already being provided, but it is not legalized. So an important example we can see here is minimum support price, which shows what will be the lowest price for any agriculture. Suppose, for example, for potato, suppose government fee supply, that means this 100 rupees is definitely more than or higher than the equilibrium price. Normal market price and demand, we can say quantity demand, quantity supply, whether it is equal, that is the equilibrium price will be definitely less than 100 rupees, because any price which is binding floor price means it is above, it is fixed above the equilibrium price. So what happened? So in this case, government will, for fixing it 100 rupees at minimum support price, means when the any buyer or any seller will purchase the good potato per kg, it has to pay minimum 100. That can be more than that also, 110, 120. But nobody wants to pay 110, 120. If it is available, if they are forced to pay higher price, then it is maximum will be 100 rupees. Why they will pay higher? And one thing more, why this, what is the purpose or what is the benefit of imposing a floor price for agricultural products or minimum support price, MSP? The reason is, number one, to stabilize farmers' income, because farmers' income is very erratic, and sometimes farmers are facing or getting bumper crops, means more crops, or sometimes the farmers are getting very less crops or drought. That is why when in 1 year they are getting higher price then for their product or more product, and the next year they may get less production, very less production, and very erratic. So second thing, to stabilize the income of the farmers, it is MSP is being provided to them. And the second is to provide a steady flow of agricultural products at a relatively stable price. Means another purpose is to make the products available in the market. You see, if government, what happened actually when we are talking about this, just let me go back. I'll just tell you. Yeah, when it is the demand is, when the market demand is 30, when the market supply is 70, when the surplus is 40. Now this is 30 means who is buying this 30? That 30 units is the quantity demand by the private individuals, the wholesaler and the retailer. Wholesaler are taking from the farmers and they are selling it in the retail market or retailers. So whatever it is, if it is surplus means quantity demand is less. Quantity demand is market demand, or we can say that is quantity demand by the buyers, that is private persons, private people, private workers, either say private wholesalers and retailers together, it is only 30, and market supply is 70. That means the sellers are ready to sell up to 70 units. They are producing more. They are selling in the market 70. So this surplus will be there. Surplus in the market is available 40 units. Who will buy this? The government will buy this with MSP. This is the situation. This is the story behind all these problems of MSP, or all these problems created, because this 40 units is the surplus. Who will buy this surplus now? From who? For whom they can sell this surplus? To whom they can sell this surplus? This 40 units surplus will be taken or will be purchased by the government. When government purchase these things, these agricultural products, what they do? They keep it, then they either give to the PDS system. Through the PDS or public distribution system, what they do, they will sell it or they will distribute it to the poor, to the below poverty line people, or for welfare schemes like midday meal or anything. So when it is of agricultural products, they are very necessary goods also. They need to be provided in the market. So what happen? Government will purchase this surplus and they can sell it in the market, or we can say they will not sell directly, they will distribute it to the poor through the PDS system, public distribution system. So when we are talking about the other reason for MSP, maybe to stabilize the amount of income that household need to spend on food items. You see, expenditure, unless one is doing expenditure, the other cannot get the income. So expenditure is also important to make the economy run smoothly. So if the people or the households will spend money for food items or for other things, what is happening? That money is being subtracted. So households income and households expenditure also depends on this availability of these products, or minimum support price government is providing so that the farmers will get income. Number two, the households will get availability of get the products available to them. And third is to stabilize the income of the households also, means buyers also, who will spend the the price of the money on the goods and services they buy. So that is for requirement. And when we are talking about minimum support price, floor price is effective if it is set above equilibrium price. We have already discussed. So minimum support price is not required. This is just true. But what is the negative effect of minimum support price or price floor? So in case of price floor, it destroys the resource allocation because it is making the market less efficient. When it is the equilibrium, that is the position when it is maximum efficiency is being achieved. Resources are efficiently allocated. Equilibrium position is the position, equilibrium price is the most efficient price. Equilibrium quantity is the most efficient quantity. In a perfect competitive market, equilibrium brings the quantity demand equals to quantity supply, and when it is market clears. So equilibrium price is known as market clearing price. Equilibrium quantity is known as market clearing quantity. Clears. There is no shortage, there is no surplus. Market clears here. So that is most efficient position. When it is when there is surplus or shortage, market become inefficient. So without price floor, equilibrium price will be yeah. One example we can go for minimum wage. But what happened to minimum wage? Suppose example of price floor is the minimum wage. Minimum wage laws will dictate the lowest price possible for labor. What will be the minimum price for labor units? You see, suppose this is a labor market. Minimum wage means what will be the minimum price for a laborer to be hired. When one person is being hired, one person, okay, sorry. Yeah. In a labor market, what happens when the market price of laborer is being determined by the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity, that is known as your equilibrium wage. This is the wage for laborer. Always wage is taken in y-axis, and then x-axis the quantity of labor, or that is number of laborers, or quantity of labor is taken in x-axis. Always quantity is taken and price, cost, wage, whatever the money related things, they are taken in the y-axis always. Then labor supply and labor demand is being shown here. This is your labor demand, this is the labor supply. Equilibrium wage is given. Now suppose in such a situation, government put a minimum wage. Minimum wage, or that is the price floor on the wage, or we can say a minimum wage policy is being adopted by the government. It is binding. Again, you will write whether it is binding or whether it is non-binding. It is binding only if it is above the equilibrium price. And above equilibrium price, government has fixed it, so buyer has to pay, and sellers are happy to receive this price, higher price. So what happened in this situation? Where it is touching the demand curve, that is your quantity demand. Where it is touching the supply curve, that is your quantity supplied, and there will be labor surplus. Surplus of labor is otherwise known as your unemployment. When the labor surplus is there, so government is fixing this labor supply, this minimum wage for the benefit of the seller, of the benefit of the laborers who are the supplier of their labor. When you find that people are standing and selling their labor for 1 day, suppose it is fixed at 500 rupees. So that means the laborers will receive at least 500 rupees if they are ready to work for 1 day. So when we are talking about the minimum wage, the quantity demand will be always less than the quantity supply of labor, because at minimum wage, which is binding above the equilibrium, law of demand says that at a higher price the demand is less but supply is more. So what we are finding here, law of demand and law of supply are operating. Demand is more than supply, sorry, quantity demand is less than quantity supply, and there is labor surplus of this much. So that is called labor surplus or unemployment. So due to this unemployment, why a minimum wage may not work, or we can say what is this unemployment? When we are talking about unemployment, then some people, some workers, when there is minimum wage policy of government, number one, those people who are low skilled people, low skilled in wage workers, low skilled, those who do not have skills. Suppose you remember, you are a hirer of the labor. You are going to hire a person. If one, you are finding two persons, one is with more skill, he knows plumber work also, he knows normal mason work also, and all that. And when another person does not know anything, just he can take the dig and delve. Just he can dig a well, and he can dig something, and he is a manual laborer just. Then definitely, if you are given an option, you will take a person who is more skilled. And because if you have small work, he can manage everything. But if one does not want know anything, then why he will be taken? Definitely, second preference, third preference, or last preference will be taken. So is low skilled and low paid laborers will lose their job if there is minimum wage policy of government. Minimum wage policy, government want fix the minimum wage. Somebody will say that if I will pay higher wage, I should hire a person who is having more skill, or who is knowing much more things than the other one, or the manual one who does not know anything. So definitely those people who are unskilled, they will lose their job. Skilled laborers are more in demand, and less skilled people will not get the job. Second is, low income workers will lose their jobs, would be especially harmful to the poorest family, because usually the poorest family household or the poorest families are having these people as workers or laborers who are not very skilled, who are unskilled. So if the job of the unskilled people are not get they are going off or laid off, they are laid off, then what will happen? The income of the poor household will fall. So poor will become more poor. So what will happen? So this is a very difficult situation for the government. So they are doing it for the benefit of the people. Those people who get a job, they are definitely be happy. But many people will not get a job, especially those people who do not have skill, who do not have knowledge. Then those people who are low income, who comes from the poor family, they are usually less skilled. So the poor will become poorer. Then third is, the higher the minimum wage, then it would be difficult for the young workers to find jobs, because minimum wage is high means nobody will take the freshers. Everybody will say we want somebody with experience, because we are paying high. If you are paying high income, high price, suppose government is fixes that all the engineers will be minimum wage for engineers. That engineers should get at least 50,000 rupees per month. Then what will happen? Even if there will be many people who will not get a job, because company will think if I am paying 50,000 per month, then he should know a lot of things. Why I should give him training? So that is why they take up to 20,000, 30,000 like this, and they give training to them. After that, they say that you have to give the all exams after this, some exams, so that to prove that you have learned properly whatever is being taught to you, and you will be useful for their company. Then only they will accept you as a employee. So that is why after 6 months, after 1 year, they go on revising or finding out whether these people are skilled or not for the and useful for the company or not. So if minimum wage is being maintained, means minimum wage means higher wage than the equilibrium wage, than the normal market wage. So what will happen? Minimum wage policy has this type of negative effects. If there is minimum wage policy and minimum wage, then the young people will or freshers will lose their jobs or will not get a job. Okay, so this is how the minimum wage policy will affect the market. Okay, so in this way we can say that minimum wage will definitely be good for the people who get a work, who get a job. But those people who do not get a job, for that minimum wage policy is not at all beneficial. So this is how you have to do the questions and you have to calculate. Let us go back to our writing pad so that we will understand. So what we have already discussed in this chapter, let me just summarize. Number one, in case of minimum wage policy, suppose this is your demand for labor is given by this equation and this diagram, and suppose this is your supply of labor S D equilibrium price. It is if it is below it, then it is non-binding. Then it is non-binding. If it is above, then it is binding or accepted. This is your equilibrium wage. This is your equilibrium quantity of wage or laborers. This is your laborers taken here, quantity, and this is your price of labor is known as wage. So wage is nothing but price of labor. So if it is higher, then it is accepted. But if it is accepted where it is touching the demand curve, you will put it, this is your quantity demand at this higher wage. Wage is suppose wage W1. This is a ceiling binding. This is your binding price floor. Price, anything price which is above it is accepted, but definitely nobody wants to give more price from the buyer's point of view. So this price will be the market price now. This floor price will become the market price now. This is binding when it is above equilibrium, but it will creating a quantity demand, and this is quantity supply. So what happened? Quantity supply is greater than quantity demand. So surplus will be there. So there will be surplus in the market. So due to this surplus in the market, there will be unemployment. Labor surplus is nothing but unemployment. So this is otherwise known as unemployment in the market. So minimum wage policy will create more unemployment in the market. So what happened? Government has to be very judicious. Government has to think very carefully while putting minimum wage policy, whether in the, that is why government never try to make these policies for the skilled laborers or for the professionals. They always do it for the very poor people, or we can say manual laborers. They never want to take into consideration, or they never want to influence or involve in the upper age group, upper class, or we can say skilled laborers or professionals. They don't fix the professional price, because if they will interfere in the professional market, what will happen? The market for professional workers, then what will happen? There will be more unemployment. Okay, so this is how you have to do, and you have to write these questions. Then you have to analyze the market effect also. What are the market effects? Market effects are very important in case of price ceiling and price floor also. So in case of price floor, we are discussing price floor today. So in case of price floor, it is binding when it is above equilibrium, but it is creating a surplus. There will be non-price discrimination. There will be non-price discrimination due to price floor. Means the people will choose with whom they will work. Okay, and the laborers are plenty, but who will hire the laborers, they have made many choices. They will just reject people with very small things, or very because I don't like these people's attitude, like this. For any small causes also, they will reject the people and all. There will be more unemployment. Due to price floor, unemployment will be there. Labor surplus is nothing but unemployment in the market. More unemployment increase in the market due to, if it is a case of minimum wage policy of government, then there will be unemployment in the market. Similarly, if it is a case of MSP, minimum support price, what happened? Agricultural production will be high, and surplus, there will be surplus in food market, or surplus in food production or goods and services. Surplus in goods and services, G and S, goods and services. This surplus is purchased by usually by the government. Who will buy this surplus? Because quantity demand is the demand of the private sector. Quantity demand is the demand for the products in the market by the wholesaler, by the retailer, and by the people. And quantity supply is the supply of the good by the seller or producer. Producer want to produce more, but whom they will sell when the people are not ready to buy it? So in that case, government may interfere. Government may acquire the products in the stipulated price. So this is about a price floor. Then let me just discuss about the price ceiling. In case of price ceiling, what happened? Price ceiling case, it is binding only if it is, in case of ceiling, it is binding if it is below. And this is your equilibrium price. This is equilibrium quantity. Price P, quantity Q, equilibrium. So if this ceiling price is below equilibrium price, then it is binding. But where it is touching the demand curve and where it is touching the supply curve, that is quantity supply. So what we are finding here is quantity demand, quantity supply is more less and quantity demand is more, or QD will be. So this is your shortage. So QD is greater than QS, shortage in the market. So there will be shortage in the market. So shortage of goods and services. So therefore, the classical economists like Adam Smith, they always say that market should be left on its own. Government should not interfere in the market in a normal situation. Government should interfere in the market only if market fails. But here government is not interfering due to market failure. Here government is interfering for welfare purpose, for betterment of some group of people, like either producers or sellers. Sometimes government interfere for the betterment of the people if they think so. So, but the situation will be shortage, and in case of shortage, what will happen? In case of shortage, what will happen? In case of shortage, there will be first come first non-price discrimination. There will be non-price discrimination. By the, who will discriminate? The seller. In case of supply, in case of ceiling, price ceiling, buyers are for the benefit of the buyers, but the seller will do non-price discrimination. What are they? First come, first serve. First come, first serve. Or it may be due to, it is first come, first serve, or favoritism, favorite people. Favoritism will be there, and people will, or privileged customer, they can choose on the basis of privileged customer. Okay, like this. So what we get here is whether it is a case of price ceiling or a case of price floor, always there will be, market will be affected. There is always a negative effect on the market. Market will be affected, and in case of price ceiling, there will be shortage in the market. Shortage of goods and services in the market. More goods are demanded than actually supply. Price will be binding only if below equilibrium price. So what will happen when there is binding price ceiling? That means it is creating a shortage in the market. In case of surplus, when there is a minimum wage or minimum support price or price floor is being imposed, there will be a case of surplus, labor surplus. There can be goods and services are surplus due to the MSP, minimum support price, or due to minimum wage. In case of minimum wage, is why government many times take decisions only in case of the non-skilled laborers or normal manual laborers. But government usually do not interfere in the skilled labor or professionals. Okay, so this is how we know about this chapter 6. It is about how to find out the cases and what are the different situations where market is affected by the price floor and price ceiling. Anybody who is having any doubt? Do you have any doubt in this chapter? Am
No,
I
ma'am.
audible? No, ma'am.
No,
I am audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, okay. So, just simple diagrams you have to make, nothing. Just remember some simple logic behind it. What are the effects of the price floor? What are the effects of the price ceiling? Then how to calculate what is surplus? That you have to write. How much surplus? When the values are given, either equations will be given or some basic questions may be asked. Yeah, this chapter may not come in your mid sem, definitely it will be for the end sem. So up to mid sem you can have the first chapter, that is price, that is your 10 principles of economics. Then we can have the chapter 2, that is ppf. First chapter, that is your principles of economics. Number 2, your ppf models, that is ppf and circular flow diagram. In ppf, what you will understand, you have to, I will just revise, I will give you one revision for these classes. And ppf and circular flow diagram, second chapter. Then you will have your fourth chapter, demand and supply of goods and services. Okay, then fifth chapter, your elasticity calculation. What you will find? Income elasticity, cross elasticity, price elasticity, cross price elasticity, and elasticity of supply. Okay, elasticity of demand and elasticity of supply, that much. Then you will find out how what are the situation with its interpretation. Range of price elasticity of demand, 0 to infinity. If some goods is being found, some values is being given, then what type of goods it is. Then plus and minus sign in case of income elasticity and cross price elasticity. What is its interpretation? How to interpret it? All that you have to go through. And number 6 is your labor market. That is chapter 18. So we'll have the labor market. Chapter 18, that is. So up to this only you may get questions in your mid-sem. Multiple choice questions, you will be given the options. So either you have to calculate, rough calculation you have to do and find out, choose it from the whatever your choices are given to you. From them you have to make choice. Maybe 30 questions, 1 mark each. Maybe 15 questions, 2 mark each, but usually it is on 1 mark 30 questions you will get. Okay, so this is how we are having for your mid-sem. Your dates are being given, microeconomics, and which date?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No dates.
No dates is being given. But from 15 to 22nd, I thought that somebody was telling that you will have your exam.
Ma'am, we just saw on the website that exams are starting from 15th of February.
Okay, for first semester, isn't it? Yeah, only for timetable is not given. Okay,
Yes,
timetable
ma'am.
will be given also. Yeah, okay. You will be, you go on checking that within this 1-2 days it may be given. Okay, timetable will be provided. Okay, thank you very much. So that's all for today's class. We will discuss in our next class.